Hey folks, if you keep up with tech news, you may know that recently the Cybertruck launched. So I figured this would be a great opportunity to create this wonderful 3D template inspired by the Tesla Cybertruck. And in this video, I'll be showing you how I created a couple of these slides. So from this template, I'll be showing you how I created this slide, and in particular, this beautiful radiating animation that I've used in the slide. And the second slide we'll be looking at is this one, where one part of the product is highlighted and a corresponding image comes down and follows the highlight box. So let's get started. We'll begin by creating this radial animation. It'll look something like this. So let's hop over to a new slide. Let's go over to our shapes and draw a circle, just so it matches the top and bottom of our slides. And then let's make sure it's aligned to the center. Let's change it to a darker color just so our lines stand out. Right click and let's lock it. Then let's begin creating our lines. So let's grab a line from our shapes, draw one. Let's go to shape format and make it nice and thick. Then all we have to do is simply replicate this line around this circle within the confines of it. The one thing we should keep in mind is while replicating these lines, we should follow the order in which we want them to be animated. So let's look at our selection pane. If we don't follow the order and just create random lines everywhere, later before we animate, we'll have to go and reorganize everything in the selection pane. So might as well keep it simple when we start. So I'm going to quickly create a bunch of lines. The more lines we create, the better the animation will look. But for this example, I'll keep it simple and I'll just create very few lines. So keep duplicating this and make sure it matches at the end point. And there we go, we've created a bunch of lines. The length of them doesn't matter right now, we can always adjust that later. Let's animate these lines. Let's select everything except the circle. Let's go over to animations and let's look for the wipe animation. So we've given it the wipe, and if we look at it in animation pane right now, it doesn't work because all the lines are wiping from the same direction. So what we need to do is go in and change the direction of the wipe individually. So for example, we want this to wipe from the right. We'll make this wipe from the right as well. This from top is fine. From bottom. This time we'll wipe from left, from left, from left, from top, and so on. Let's take a look at it now. Next, we need to add a delay between all the lines. So let's go over and make sure all our animations are set with previous. Then from the second animation, let's start giving it an increment of 0.10 each. So first is 0.10, the second should be 0.20, and so on. I'll quickly add the delays. Alright, so I've added a 0.10 of a delay after each animation, and let's see how that looks. And that looks pretty good. And as I said earlier, the more lines you add inside it, the better the animation effect will be. Then we can go ahead and recolor some of our lines depending on the color palette that we're using. And we can also adjust the length of these lines. So in order to do that, select your line, press Shift, and then drag it so it doesn't change position. And you can make whichever you need shorter or longer. And take a look. Then we can go and unlock our background and change it to a lighter color so our lines stand out better. And finally, we can hide the center point by creating another circle over it and changing it to whatever color we want. So something like this. So if you follow these steps, add a few more lines, your animation will look something like this. And this can be used in multiple ways. If you measure each line out, you can add numbers to it and make it into a graph, or you can use it the way I have for this car project. Let's move on to slide number 2. For this slide, we'll be creating this highlight animation. It looks really good, but it's quite simple to do. So, let's hop over to a blank slide. Let's grab a PNG of the image we want to be highlighted. In our shapes, let's draw a rectangle over it. Let's give it a nice thick weight, the outline. Let's remove the shape fill and of course change the outline color. Then let's go over and grab a frame shape and draw it on the right side of our slide. Let's increase its thickness a bit. And then let's bring in the right side image and send it to back. Make sure the image doesn't overlap out of the frame. Let's place it here for now. And that's the setup that we need. We can begin animating. So first we'll select this box, go over to animations, and we want to add a stretch animation. So for that, we'll have to go into more entrance effects and find stretch under moderate. So it looks something like this. We can increase its duration slightly. And then we add another animation, go over to motion paths, and then just drag it over the part we want to highlight, which is in this case this light bar. We can add a slight delay to it so it moves after the stretch, and something like that. I think I'll reduce the delay slightly. And that looks pretty good. We'll add the same kind of animation to the image on the right, but instead of a stretch, we'll give it a fade. Oh, and of course, let's not forget to begin our animations with previous. So we fade it in. Let's delay it. Let's go over to add animation and give this one a motion path as well with previous. Let's drag it to wherever we want the image to float down to. And let's see if that worked. And that looks pretty good. Then finally all we have to do is change the color of the mask to match our background color. And remove its shape outline. Let's take one final look. And there you go. And of course, we can decrease the speed of the motion path if we want it to work faster. So right now the duration's at 2. Let's make it about 125. And there we go. We can make a few other minor adjustments. I'll decrease the delay of this entrance to coincide a little bit better with the entrance of the box. And that looks really cool. This animation effect is a really quick and easy way to add loads of depth to any kind of presentation that you may be creating. So I hope you found this interesting. And if you'd like to check out the full template, you can grab it from my store. I'll link it in the description. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave us a thumbs up, and I'll see you next time.